Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope it's good and fantastic and wonderful. Everything here is bright and sunshiny, amazingly, because it was raining this morning. We're talking about Gencon this week, so if you're tired of hearing about it, maybe wait till next week. But I want to keep going. And Monday, I asked if you had any questions about Gencon, and I would try to answer them. And I answered Chris yesterday about my games at Gencon, and that took up the entire episode. So let's go to somebody else who said... Jonathan said he hopes that next year there'll be a mask mandate. I think there necessarily won't be a mask mandate, but I think we'll see a lot of masks next year. I think that people will take, personal accountability into consideration and be wearing masks for quite a while. He said, did anybody drop off cookies? No, we got 0 cookies at the portal booth this year. Yes, we got 0 cookies. For those of you who don't know, there's a couple of people that are very special to a lot of people in that hall, and that is Beth and Steve Moak. Beth and Steve worked for Stephen Bonacore for a long time as demoers, and Beth always bakes a ton of baked goods and made them available to anybody who wanted them at Stephen's booth. Well, Stephen's no longer there. So by default, Portal Games gets to be the new Beth Moak baked goods booth, and we had her cake bombs, and she makes these like chocolate chip peanut butter cookie muffin things. We had a bunch of those in our booth, but we had no cookies. Nobody brought cookies. Fun stories to share. I can tell you some fun stories, not in this format. They mostly involve a lot of dick jokes and absurdity. I mean, we had a lot of fun, right? We had a good time. Let's see. Well, Quack said other stories about Gen Con. Let's see if I can work one up. Fun stories that happened this year that I can talk about would be... man, I don't know. That's a good one. So many things happen, right? Like... so many things happen from day to day to day to day that you carry forward all of these ridiculous, inside jokes for days, and then they just kind of they're not funny outside of that context. But there are some fun things happen, and there's evidence of that on the Portal Games Twitter account. If you want to go over there and look at some of the videos that Danielle, Portal Games US Twitter account, Danielle Standring published, where we did a little bit of goofiness type stuff in the booth. That was very fun. Steve Thomas asked about huge crowds making a run during the opening ceremony or during the opening hours. No, actually, the crowd started to get kind of packed on Thursday morning, and so Gen Con decided to open the hall like 6 or 5 minutes early. They announced it over the intercom, like the crowds are starting to get a little backed up. We're going to open it early so that everybody can get in and spread out. And after that, there was no crowds. Like, there were crowds. It was a busy convention, but there wasn't pockets of people. Like, you didn't have to sneak through anybody. There was lots of space, and it felt really warm and welcoming. And one of the interesting parts was there was a lot of empty booths. So there was a lot of booths where there were empty spaces intentionally, like Gen Con left a large open area where people could stop and talk without having to clog up an aisle. But there were booths that just didn't show up. And so throughout the day, on Thursday, I saw a few of those. By the next day, they had at least put some sort of furniture, not furniture, but Gen Con had put like some carpet there or whatever to kind of make it look like part of the hall. So that was a thing. Steve also wants to know about the medal I hung on the wall at the start of that episode. I've told this story before, but we can tell it again. For many, many years, there was a Gen Con exclusive invite-only game played every Wednesday night called the World Cup game. It is a soccer-themed game, and it was an invite-only event. And Ignacy has played in it every year that he's been in America for Gen Con, and he's never won. And I got invited the last 2 times it ran, and I won both. So the first time I won was we were playing the FIFA 2018 World Cup, and I won as Sweden. And so Ignacy was so mad at me for winning, and I immediately bought myself a Sweden jersey and a Russia 2018 gold medal to wear. And of course I had to take it this year because I had a Portal soccer jersey made that I put champ across the back. So there's a whole joke in the Portal games community where I'm the champ and people call me champ, and it pisses off Ignacy, and I have props to really just kind of bring that all home. And then Steve wanted to know about games that caught my eye. Honestly, everything caught my eye because I've been kind of out of contact with gaming for a long time. The ones that caught my eye that I knew I got Arnak finally. I knew I wanted Arnak, Lost Ruins of Arnak, and I didn't know when I was going to get to it. So Check Games put up like a hold list on Google. I filled it out. I went upstairs and bought my Arnak. Ryan Lockett had Sleeping Gods, the Kickstarter editions there for purchase, and I purchased it and the expansion. That was something I knew I wanted, but I didn't know it was going to be there. It was just something that I was like, man, I wish I hadn't missed that Kickstarter. Dice Miner. We played Dice Miner a few times, and that was really cool, but by the time I got over to that booth, they were sold out. I would have picked it up just for funsies. It's not a particularly complex or deep game, but for funsies. Everybody was talking about Furnace, and we played it a few times. It is eye-catching. Like, the design is eye-catching. The game itself it's fine. Like, okay, if somebody asked me to play it, I would play it, but I didn't buy it. There really wasn't a lot that caught my eye, like as in, oh, I want that, or I want to try that. In fact, like off the top of my head, I don't even know what I brought home that was super interesting to me, other than Arnak and Sleeping Gods. I brought home Coffee Traders. I traded for that. I brought home a Cthulhu the Deck Builder. It's Cthulhu. Rift Force was given to me. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there wasn't a whole lot. It was a weird year because in the years past, publishers have held releases for Gen Con. And there really wasn't that many new releases. I mean, I guess Furnace was a new release. But other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of new there. And so that did feel a little bit different. It felt like there wasn't that game that everybody was carrying around. There was a game that I saw a lot of people carrying around, and I knew nothing about it. And I now don't remember what that was. I saw it on day 1 and 2, and then I never saw it again. And I don't really remember what it might have been. Yeah. It was all in all a great event. And if nothing else, I got to hang out with cool friends, right? And that means the world after not seeing all these people for so long. For a long time, especially when I first started with Portal, and I was the U.S. arm of Portal, it was just me. I was traveling to like 6 shows a year. I would do Gen Con, I would do Origins, I would do BGG, and I would do 3 distributor shows. Or maybe even a PSI social, like 6 or 7 shows a year. I was seeing all of these publisher friends all the time. And it's good to be able to catch up and say hi, because they become, like a whole con family. And I hadn't seen my family in a long time, and it was nice to catch up. So I'll try to come up with a story or two to tell. Maybe I'll make that tomorrow's episode. I definitely have some old stories I could tell about cons, and specifically behind the scenes type stuff. I talked about trading on the Portal Games vlog. By the way, that's the other thing. You can go to Portal Games Gen Con, Portal Games YouTube channel, and I did vlogs for 3 days while I was there. And, I didn't edit them. The Polish team edited them. But I shot vlogs, and you can go see some of that. And in that, I tell a little story about trading and how vendors trade on the last day. So maybe that's something interesting. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here, as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is humanism. It is a noun meaning the philosophy or belief that the highest ideals of human existence can be fulfilled without regard to religion or supernatural intervention. The 4 characteristics of humanism are curiosity, a free mind, belief in good taste, and belief in the human race. E.M. Forrester, an English novelist. Humanism. Humanism. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's any surprise if I told you that I'm not necessarily a like religious person, but I believe in humanity, right? Humanism is a good thing to believe in. Humans as a whole. I think we got this.